not saying that Gavin Newsom is the best possible candidate we could have, but he is one of the only people that I can see that could actually beat the many, many hurdles of the puritanical politics that exist within the Democratic Party. And in order to get our country back, we need to start the train of inevitability now. I can guarantee you the Republicans already have. I mean, duh, they're already selling Trump 2028 merch. First of all, Democrats are impossible to unite because they represent so many different groups of people. Okay, so you have different regional demographics, different religious backgrounds, different socioeconomic backgrounds, different ethnicity backgrounds. They're just all over the place. Okay, and establishment Democrats in the past, I'm upset about because they haven't done jack shit. Like, many of them have been convicted of fraud and some of the same stuff that Republicans have. So like they're not really that different. And then the politicians that haven't gotten wrapped up in controversies, many of them have stayed complicit or they've accepted money from lots of really weird, creepy places that I don't want to talk about on social media. Okay? But Democrats, we like to eat our own. And because of that, we don't have a good pipeline of talent. Okay, so because of our purity politics and how no one is ever good enough for us, many people that might be really great politicians haven't even run for office. And if they have run for office, they haven't gotten higher and higher up to the point where you could vote for them for president because they just think they'll never be good enough, right? And then there are people that were super great that we threw out because they had a weird laugh or something. Right? And so again, am I saying Gavin Newsom is the best possible candidate? No, I am not. Democrats hold much of the blame when it comes to the amount of toxic chemicals in our air, in our water, and our consumer products. A lot of the times they say they're against something and then they don't actually do anything about it. And they've sat back and they've been complicit. So yeah, like, I am not cool with establishment Democrats. I am not. But there are also different standards that have emerged within the last 10 years since Trump that people want in a candidate, right? And it's not just about getting like Democrats to all fall in line behind someone. It's about getting independents and people that sometimes vote Republican to vote as well, right, for the Democratic candidate. And one thing that Trump brought was authenticity, kind of off the cuff remarks. And that honestly is something that everybody kind of wanted. I think myself included, since I was younger, I have always hated super rehearsed, wooden, inauthentic politicians. Everybody has hated that regardless of what your political ideology is, right? We hate people that when they're asked a very simple question, they don't answer it and instead they just give their talking points, right? And that still exists with many of the Democratic candidates. I watched Andy Beshear just this past weekend on Bill Maher, and Democrat from Kentucky, governor, done a lot of good things, but his responses were so rehearsed and wooden and inauthentic. I was like, yep, he can't run. He's not going to win. No one's going to vote for that. But Gavin Newsom is one of the only politicians that has actually done something on toxic chemicals in our products, in our air, and in our water. And he's done it on a large scale, and he's managed that very effectively for a significant period of time. He also has a crap ton of money, which, as much as I don't want that to matter, it matters, right? So again, do I think Gavin Newsom is the best possible candidate? Hell no. But I'm also realistic in the fact that no one's ever going to be good enough for the Democratic Party. And I just want our democracy back so we can start rebuilding. Because right now it's being destroyed. And I don't trust anybody on the Republican side to rebuild our democracy. Who knows if we can even vote in the 2028 elections? Like, I don't know that, right? I sure hope we can. Who knows that we can trust any of the election results, especially when Dominion voting machines are getting bought out by Republicans. Like, again, this is assuming a lot about that, all right? But assuming that we do have a free and fair election again, I can't think of anybody else that will cater to both high information voters and low information voters and get independents and people that would normally vote Republican over to our side. I don't know who else could do that.